Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Peace, and on this channel, we talk about everything product marketing. So, today we're going to tackle soft skills and how you can apply them to product marketing. The first soft skill I'll talk about is listening, and this one you have to do it internally and externally. So, internally, when you join a team, I advise you to listen for what expectations they have of you. Ask the business, ask them what are the things that you think I can bring to the table. Ask them, what do you think is the biggest thing that I could do, for example, and listen to them because this can help you plan your growth path within the company. Then, externally, you want to be listening to your customers, of course, you want to listen to your competitors. This listening also means you're going to be paying attention to what your competitors are doing, how your customers are behaving. For example, with the product marketing world and tech world in general, AI has become a thing. And if you're not paying attention, if you're not listening, you won't realize that people have moved on and people have transitioned to an era of AI and ChatGPT, and AI is now generating images and creating videos and doing so many of these things. And then your product might start sounding tone deaf because you're not really listening to the real problems customers are facing, and you're still focused on the problems you thought they had maybe a year ago or 6 months ago. So you have to be constantly listening in order to be innovative, in order to match your customers, in order to tell them that you care about them and you're paying attention to how they are growing and making sure that your product can grow with them. Another skill that you have to have is problem solving. You need to be able to take a problem and make it and break it down into very tiny pieces that can be solved. Because what makes a problem is usually because it's complex. People don't know how to go about solving it. A big part of your role in product marketing is going to, if you can clarify situations and make problems just easy to tackle, that would give you such a great edge. So try to do that. When you see a problem, try to break it into smaller pieces so that everybody knows, oh, okay, if I just do this and do this and do this, the problem is gone. Try to be that person that understands how to break down a problem so that it can get worked on and it goes away. Another skill is collaboration and stakeholder management. So you're going to be collaborating a lot. You're going to need to talk to a lot of people internally and externally. Internally, you need to collaborate with your management, with your teams, your colleagues, and externally, you need to collaborate with your customers, your business partners, and so many other people. So you need to be able to understand different stakeholders. Like, how can I talk to this person in a way that they understand where I'm coming from? Does this person prefer a certain medium over another medium? Because if one person prefers to receive this a certain type of message via phone call, meanwhile someone else prefers to receive it via email, you need to know this. You also want to be able to influence with authority in these situations, which is why you should learn how to manage stakeholders and how to collaborate with your teams, because this will help you be able to influence situations. It will help you understand when a phone call is better than an email, for example. This is a skill that you would need. Another skill you need is asking the right questions. You want to be able to say, this question is a dumb question, and then this question is a right question. And the dumb question is typically those questions that you should know or that you're expected to know. Of course, I would always say go ahead and ask a question, but pay attention to not ask a question that makes you seem ridiculous. It's just like going to an interview and then telling the interviewer, so what do you guys do here? It's going to seem like you didn't even pay attention to the company, like you just randomly applied, which doesn't put you in a good light. So instead of asking someone, what do you do? You might want to ask something that sounds smart, like the right question. You might want to say something like, what is the, I know there's a job description, for example, but what is the expectation you have of me in the next 6 months? What's the result you want to see? That's a smart question to ask, right? So it's the same thing with your customers. Don't go to your customer after telling them that, oh, your customers have already downloaded your product. They've already laid a complaint and said, oh, I'd really want this other feature to be added. Then you go to them and start with, so what feature do you think you want to be added, right? So you have to be asking the right questions, paying attention also. When you listen, you ask. You listen, you ask. But always try to listen before asking so you're not asking insensitive questions either. Very tricky, but By the time you start practicing, you'll get used to it. And another skill I'll talk about is communication, which is a no-brainer. You want to be able to communicate very clearly. People should understand what you're saying, whether you're writing it or you're saying it out. You want to break down things, speak in real English that people can understand. Don't try to sound too smart and start using jargons that people can understand, because then you're going to sound very cold and distant. Try to break down your communication and sound as clear as you can. Clarity is a big deal, and if you can't have clarity in your internal communication, then you're going to struggle communicating anything externally. And we already know that a big part of carrying a product out there, a successful product, is communicating the value of that product very clearly to your customers. I mean, if you can't tell your customers why they should use your product, they are probably not going to use it, because you're just telling them that you have a product, but you haven't told them how it works or why they should use it or how much it costs to use it. So you should be able to communicate, and communicating also has a psychology to it. You have to be able to understand what the objections would be to your communication. For example, if you're going to go out there and tell a customer about your new product, some objections might be, I don't want to pay for this. And then you want to tackle that immediately and say, oh, this product is completely free, or we only charge you per use, or we don't charge you a lot, we only charge you 1,000 or something like that, right? You want to be able to identify objections and then tackle it in your communications. um the other skill I will talk about is organization and prioritization. So this one, when you're working in startups especially, there's going to be so many things to do. The products at very different stages will need so many things to be done. And as a PMM, you want to be able to identify what can wait and what cannot. Because not everything has the same impact to customers. Not everything has the same impact to the business. Certain activities would have more impacts than others. Just because that activity, like activities keep coming at you and coming at you, doesn't mean you have to keep doing them all at the same time, or you have to start doing. You just need to be able to understand which one should you do first, which one should you do later, which one can come now, which one can come later, based on what the business wants to achieve and what kind of impact that would have to customers. So prioritization and organization is very important for every product marketer. And there's so many other soft skills that I can mention. There's just common sense as well, just knowing like when something works and when it doesn't. But there's also presentation, being able to clearly articulate something, clearly articulate your plan and say, this is why this plan is this way, this is how it's going to work, and this is the kind of results that we should expect. Being able to put together something that looks compact, that answers key questions, and being able to talk to people, get that idea across, and get buy-in from stakeholders is also a big skill. So there's so many others, but these are some of them that you can start practicing. You can start practicing all of these skills in your day-to-day life, outside of work, within the workspace, as many times as you can, as many places as you can, because these skills will help you. Some of them I didn't even have, but especially attention to detail. I used to struggle with detail, just like paying attention and understanding, just picking out some things. But by the time I kept practicing, it started getting better. So you too can do the same. Just keep practicing the skills and they will get better. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video. Thank you.